Guess who's back? Back again. Martin's back. Tell a friend. I haven't done a Halloween-themed video since... well, shit. Since 2016. The first and only such video I've ever produced. Why don't I fix that right now? The one and only CR Martin is proud to present a Halloween video. What more do you want me to say? Continuing with my recent coverage of Mickey Mouse, today's video is going to be about the Halloween special of Mickey 13 by Paul Rudish, which has one hell of a title. The Scariest Story Ever, a Mickey Mouse Halloween Spooktacular. Talk about a mouthful. I should correct myself on an oversight I made the first time I reviewed a Mickey Mouse holiday cartoon, where I oxymoronically referred to the short in question as a full-length short. What the hell did that even mean? Your guess is as good as mine because I don't know. Really, I should have just called it a 22-minute cartoon, since that's what it is. At any rate, this will be a review on another 22-minute Mickey Mouse cartoon, the second one in this series following Duck the Halls, which I already reviewed and pissed some people off with by virtue of a grating-ass introduction. Sorry, not sorry. Ha 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 ha! But in all seriousness, Holidays plus Mickey Mouse has gotta be a winning formula, because this is the second holiday-themed cartoon from this series that's been really good, and I want to talk about it. This is The Scariest Story Ever, a Mickey Mouse Halloween Spooktacular. The cartoon begins with a highly elaborate cinematic opening, much like its Yuletide cousin did. We're treated to multiple shots of the neighborhood adorned with Halloween decorations and sprawling with trick-or-treating denizens, which when paired with a marvelous musical score by Christopher Willis, creates a complete audio-visual delight. The only downside to this setup is that this is the first and last time we see it, which is pretty lame. Kinda like touring an amusement park and feasting your eyes on an especially eye-catching attraction without actually going on it. After the animated equivalent of a cock tease, the entourage of Mickey, Donald, and Goofy return home to enjoy the spoils of their excursion. Well, they were more babysitting than actual trick-or-treating, which was done by Mickey's and Donald's nephews, Morty and Ferdy Field Mouse, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Check it out! I got 2 jumbo candy bars from Mrs. Johnson. That's nothing. I got a whole box of candy bars from Mrs. Johnson. Yeah? Well, I got Mrs. Johnson.
Little old ladies are the sweetest.
Now, seeing Huey, Dewey, and Louie on screen was a given at the offset thanks to their long and storied list of media appearances, spanning from the classic Disney shorts to both DuckTales series to this very series I'm talking about right now. But Morty and Ferdy struck me as unusual, since their resume is nowhere near as extensive as the Duck triplets, bordering on non-existent. Like the triplets, their origins are rooted in comics, not animation. But there's not much more beyond that apart from cameo appearances across a small amount of Disney media, their biggest roles being in Mickey's Christmas Carol as Tiny Tim and Peter Cratchit, though I am glad that Paul Rudish and co. are exploring both well-known and obscure names in the Disney vault. Would feel inappropriate otherwise. As the gang settles down for the night, Mickey readies himself for a surprise he has planned. A scary story that's sure to send any soul soiling their slacks.
Yay! Scary story! Scary story! Scary story!
Oh man, this is gonna be good! No one tells scary stories like Mick.
That's a lot of faith you guys are putting in him. I'm sure it won't hit you in the face later. Mickey gets the story underway, and it's more or less Frankenstein's monster. Woohoo.
It lives!
Golly, I'm alive!
Complete with a disco dance number. Double woohoo.
Legendary nursery, laid back life was not for me. Oh, I will survive.
No one's impressed.
You said you were gonna tell a scary story.
Oh, right. Sorry, I just got on a roll there. Roll, get it?
No! Scary story! Scary story! Scary story!
Yikes. You've got a tough crowd on your hands, Mickey. Better bring your A-game, boy.
So, you guys want a really scary story, huh? Just remember, you asked for it. Once, long ago.
Relax. Let me handle this.
Yeah, like you two are gonna fare better. The kids are all growing impatient with the promise of a terrifying tale, so Mickey, Donald, and Goofy band together for a second attempt, this time with their own rendition of Dracula.
Van Mousing! The bravest, most dashing vampire hunter in the world.
Oh, and he had a partner, Dipworth Goofington III. He was even braverster and more dashinger.
I'm Drake McRock, the best of the best.
Don't think Van Helsing had any partners in the original novel, but whatever. It's their story, not mine. Speaking of which, I should work on mine again. The story suffers the same problems as the Frankenstein one. The beats are all too predictable.
Many a man had gone insane, their minds lost in the
How about you wash that down with a couple of cool ones?
You dare to challenge the Prince of Vampire!
Behold, fiend!
What the hell? How can you make your own spin on a classic story different, yet similar at the same time?
You look like a prince on the outside, but I didn't change anything on the inside. Showtime.
No, I'm in charge, okay? I say when it's time. Really?
You must take your place in the circle of life.
Oh, that's how. Big surprise. The kids are still unimpressed, and their impatience is at a critical mass.
And now the vampire hunter became...
A vampire. Yes, a vampire.
Hey, nobody saw that coming.
We all saw it coming.
Well, I saw it coming and I can't see a thing.
Mickey, Donald, and Goofy regroup to regain their bearings.
Face it, Mick, you come from the happiest place on earth. You're just not capable of telling a scary story.
That's true.
It's not your fault you're a cream puff, a dandelion, a toot sweet, milksop.
All right, gosh, I get it.
So much for putting faith in your friend. What happened to that? Mickey goes back to the living room to try and somehow placate the kids, who've now become a restless, unruly bunch. They mock Mickey for his inability to be frightening, but take their insults a bridge too far when Mickey's lederhosen is brought to the equation.
Can't tell a scary story. Can't tell a scary story. The only thing rippier than your terrible stories is you, Mr. Lederhosen. You can be scary. You can be scary.
I mean, everything beforehand is enough to make a sane man snap. But you do not, I repeat, you do not make fun of a man's lederhosen. You just don't, okay? This ceaseless mockery is the fulcrum that gets Mickey to buckle down and tell what just might be the scariest story ever. The tale follows a band of 5 obnoxious youngsters sporting their own lederhosen.
Once upon a time, there were 5 rotten kids, real stinkers, in lederhosen.
You'll learn to appreciate it. They have a reputation for causing mischief in town, namely by stealing every baked pie in sight. And yes, even from defenseless old ladies.
How much you want for that thing? Well, oh wait, we ain't got no dough. What do you say? 5-finger discount? You're a good kid.
Being the troublemaking, misguided misfits they are, the boys follow the clearly trustworthy elderly woman to her cottage deep within the woods. As is the case with stories like this, nothing in this place is what it seems, and the boys all disappear one by one until the boy in red, Huey, is the last one remaining. So it's pretty much Hansel and Gretel, except here, it's 5 Hansels.
You really should try one. Fresh out the oven. Hey! Who turned out the lights?
And you, Hilly, are the most rotten little boy I've come across. I have a nose for these things. Let's make some pies!
There was no escape. Shui had become her next pie!
Jeez. Dark and edgy much, Mickey? This successfully scares the kids, and even Donald and Goofy. They all run cowering underneath a blanket in bed. And Mickey pats himself in the back over a job well done. It doesn't last long.
Ha! I knew I could tell a scary story! Another Halloween successfully put to bed! You're welcome!
That really was the ultimate scary story, Uncle Mickey.
You want to hear another one? No! Good, me neither!
You bunch of wimps. Okay, that was a pretty fun holiday special. It shows that Paul Rudish and his team aren't just shallowly capitalizing on any given holiday, and this care and attention is not uncharacteristic of Mickey 13 in general. The atmosphere the cartoon creates is some of the finest from the series. Every last nook and cranny of the audiovisual design invokes the spirit of Halloween, from how the characters look, how the settings look, and the instrumental work in the musical score. The idea of telling scary stories during Halloween is beyond played out, but the execution certainly isn't. The homage parody to classic gothic works is to be expected, and it does its job in keeping with the Halloween vibe. It's amusing the first time around, and I laughed here and there. Sure, they're the main attraction, but what defines this cartoon's take on this tired out trope is that it puts Mickey's good-natured persona into the center. How this historically one-dimensional depiction of the character has permeated into his other aspects. Mickey being unable to tell a good scary story due to being too much of a goody two-shoes is a damn fine way of turning his character on its head. It's not really meta aside from one passing comment that Goofy makes, but the effort is to be commended. And in true Mickey 13 fashion, this cartoon strikes a balance between the goody-goody and mischievous personas of Mickey Mouse, the latter of which becomes apparent in the final scary story. It's most likely not gonna happen, but it'd be cool if Disney put faith in their mascot again and used him as an actual character instead of just an advertising vehicle. You know, beyond just this series would be miles better than shit like this.
Okay, my turn. Is that all you got? Yeah!
Oy vey. I don't have too many complaints with the way this cartoon turned out, except for the well done setup in the intro that just leaves you blue-balled. How cool would it have been if the cartoon took place all across the neighborhood? That way, the spirit of Halloween would have really come alive. I proudly award the Scariest Story Ever, a Mickey Mouse Halloween Spooktacular, a score of 4 out of 5. Yes, Duck the Halls has a better score, and it's because its holiday was more central to its plot, it took the concept very far, and it benefited from it. Despite being an all-around well-crafted celebration of Halloween, the Scariest Story Ever could have taken place in any other situation, like in front of a campfire, or a slumber party for instance. And as I've made abundantly clear, those opening shots of the neighborhood were a glorious fun time waiting to happen, but didn't. Again, those are the only issues I have, and what we got is still a lot of fun. All that being said, the Scariest Story Ever is sure to grant you your Halloween fix. Until the next video, I'm the one and only CR Martin, and I'll see you guys later. Ciao for now, and happy Halloween!